Good morning, fifth graders. It's Monday, February 17th, and it's our third week of home-based learning. So today, what we're going to be focused on in math is a new math chapter. We're going to be looking at angles, measuring angles, line segments, that whole thing. So some of it's review, some of it will be new content. Miss Fawn has made a introductory video for you today. Later in the week, you will need a protractor. So you'll need to talk to your mom about buying a protractor. They're pretty cheap. I don't know what they would be in Korean won. In renminbi, it's like 2-3 kwai. So I think you can find them at most, at notebook stores, that sort of thing. We have our grammar activity for today. So remember, you don't have to turn that in. You just do it and we'll go over the answers right in the video. Then in science, we're going to do a little science today. I'm going to make a video for you, and I'd like you to take notes for that video. We're going to be doing this throughout the week, so we'll do little snippets every day. So, maybe 15-minute video, 10-15 minutes a day, so you don't get tired of writing, and you'll need to study those notes. That means for reading, we're not going to do as much reading. You're still going to have to do your reading A to Z level work, but we may not have assignments every single day because I know writing those notes will take some time. And that's pretty much the plan for the week. I hope you guys have a good week, and we have 2 more weeks of this until we have some sort of break, I think. So we'll see you then. All right, fifth graders, we're going to go over some vocabulary to begin this chapter out. The 4 words that we're going to focus on right now are line, point, line segment, and ray. In a little bit, Miss Fawn's going to talk to you about angles, and she may go into a little more elaborate a little bit more on these words. But I want you to know what these mean as we're going forward. So a line is exactly that, a line that keeps going both directions for infinity. Now, that's a geometry term, the way we say that. Normally, if I say draw a line, it has a beginning and an end. But in geometry, they just keep going on and on. And within a line, you have points. And those points are labeled by letters of the alphabet. And they're always labeled as capital letters. Now, I can give this line a name, and usually the name you give it are the points on the line that are farthest from each other. So in this case, it's A and D. And the way that I'm going to write that it's a line or show on paper is I draw like a really short line going both directions, and I write A, B. I could also do line AB or line AC, but it cuts down on the confusion if you take the 2 points farthest away. So a point is just a little small exact location on a line. So here's point A, point B, point C, point D. There's points all along there. Every little part of that line could be a different point, but we label the points as those letters. So a point, if you just see a dot, that's going to represent a point. So it might say find point A on the line or find point B. Well, the point, you know what it is because it's a dot. Now a line segment is a distance between 2 points on a line. So if I have a line here, here's my line, and I have 3 points on it, let's just say X, Y, and Z. Line segments are the distance between them. And there could be any number of line segments on a line. Or you could have a line segment on a ray as well. And I'll show you what a ray is in a moment. But a line segment is the distance between two points. And the way I write it is by drawing just a small segment. There's no arrows on it. So I have a line segment XY. So that's just a distance from X to Y. But I could also have XZ, which is the distance, which is that distance. But I could also have segment YZ, which is this distance. So this particular one I could get several line segments out of, and so you do the line segment as just a dash with the letters of the points underneath it. Now array is it's part of an angle. So here we see that both these angles meet at this point, and they keep going on in this direction forever, but they have a starting point there. So array has a starting point, but it doesn't have an end point. Rays also have different points. So this could be A, B, C. Now there's two different rays here. Here is one, and here is the other one. And the way that I write a ray or identify a ray on paper is with an arrow going this direction with the letters. I'll start with the starting point and then the point that keeps going. So this is ray BA. I guess you could say ray AB too, it doesn't matter as much. But here I have another ray, and that would be ray BC. In a moment I'm going to give you an opportunity to identify some on your own.
Now let's look at angles. An angle is formed when two line segments or rays meet at an end point. So in this angle, BA, ray BA and ray BC, they meet at the end point B. So B is called the vertex of the angle. The vertex of the angle. We talked about vertex or vertexes when we talked about triangles. We say a triangle has 3 vertexes or 3 vertices. So this angle, we can name it angle ABC, or angle, this angle symbol, angle CBA, CBA. Notice that the vertex B is in the middle. And we can also name it angle B, just the vertex. And if we mark the angle like this and put a letter here, we can also call it angle X. So this is how you name an angle. And in this example, this angle where line segment OP and PQ, they meet at the end point P. So P again is the vertex. And we can name the angle OPQ, angle QPO, or angle just the vertex P. Or if you want to mark it and name it with, for example, Y, you can call it angle Y. So this is angles and how we name it. So angles can be measured. And this angle BOA, it measures 30 degrees. To measure an angle, you need something called a protractor. And this picture shows how to use a protractor correctly. First of all, make sure your vertex, the vertex of your angle is on the intersection point of these two perpendicular lines. So it's right here. Don't put it here or at the outside. Make sure you put it on the intersection. And put one line of your angle on the 0 degree and count up to the other line of your angle. Notice that there's 1 0 degree line on the right. There's also 1 0 degree line on the left. But the number set is on the outside. So it starts 0 on the outside and counts up. And the 0 degree line on the right side, it starts with the inside 0 and count up. So when you measure angles, make sure you use the right set of numbers. If you put your line on the right, count from 0 here instead of 180. If you put your line on the left, count from 0 on the outside set of numbers. All right? We talked about perpendicular lines when we learned the chapter of triangles. So perpendicular lines form a right angle. This angle measures 90 degrees. If there are two right angles, it is 180 degrees. When there are three right angles, they measure 270 degrees. And 4 right angles measure 360 degrees. In this figure, can you find out how many angles are there? Are there 2 angles or 3 angles? Did you realize that there are actually 3 angles? Okay, let's write them down. Angle A, B, C is the right angle, the perpendicular lines. AB and BC are perpendicular to each other. So ABC angle, ABC is a right angle. And, ABD, here, you can write it. Angle ABD is this angle. It's an acute angle. Acute angle is angles that are smaller than a right angle. And then finally there's angle DBC. So these 3 angles. Since we know that angle ABC is 90 degrees, we can find out the measure of one of these angles if we are given the other one. For example, if angle ABD is 50 degrees, and what is the measure of angle DBC? Yes, it is 90 degrees minus 50 degrees, which is 40 degrees. Let's have a practice. Find the unknown angle measures in these 2 figures. Number 1, in this right angle, one of these 2 smaller angles is, one is 26 degrees, and what is the measure of angle A? Number 2, this is a right angle, and there's a 23 degree angle, 12 degree angle, and find the measure of angle B. Let's see if you can work it out quickly. I'll give you a few seconds, or you can also pause the video and I'm going to show the answer.